The aim of this workshop is to create your own remote racer or robot to maneuver around an obstacle course. In order to do this, we will use two touch sensors, one touch sensor to indicate the robot to move left, another touch sensor to indicate the robot to move right. And if none of the touch sensors are pressed, it will continue moving straight. So once you've opened up your program, click the top left button, Add Project. And in doing so, you should come up with your work plane. Your work plane is the place where you'll drag and drop all your code to upload to the robot. But before we touch any code, let's go ahead and rename our file. Just above your file name is the folder name. This becomes very useful to know when you are searching for your file on your robot when you are testing. Just something to consider. So the first icon that we'll be using is the loop icon, and that can be found in the flow control tab represented by the orange color. We just click and drag. This is an infinite loop because the setting is on unlimited. What this means is that any icon that is placed inside the loop will repeat forever. And so what we're going to put inside is an icon under the action tab. We're going to click and drag the move tank block. The move tank block allows us to control both of our two motors independently. So we're going to change the setting to on, and we're going to set the left motor to 75 and right motor to 75. So right now the motor will go straight. Now we want to code for our touch sensors. So we're going to click on the orange tab and click and drag the switch block. So make sure the switch block is set to the touch sensor, which is by default it is, and that the state is at 1. What the state refers to is how we want the touch sensor to be activated. As well as that, make sure that your port is corresponding to how it's connected on the robot. This also applies to the motors. So in this case the motors are B plus C and the sensor is connected to port 1. So when the touch sensor is pressed, it will do the actions that are inside the tick box icon. If the touch sensor is not pressed, it will do any icons in the cross icon box. So what we want to do now is go to the action tab and click and drag a move tank block into the tick icon box. We're going to change that to on and set the left motor to 0 and the right motor to 75. What this will do now is when we click the touch sensor connected to port 1, it will make the robot turn left. Now let's put the code in for the other touch sensor. Once again, we're going to click and drag a switch block that is set as a touch sensor. So now here, it's set as a touch sensor, the state is still number 1, however the port is no longer the same. The port will need to be a different number because we are controlling a different touch sensor. In this case, it is number 4. So the logic that we want to put in here is we want to do the opposite of that of the first touch sensor. So we want to drag and drop another move tank block, set that to on, and this time instead of moving left, we want to move right. So the left motor will stay the same, however the right motor will be set to 0. Now the robot will turn right. And finally, if neither the left or the right touch sensor is pressed, we want it to continue going straight. Change the setting to on, the left motor is 75 and the right motor is 75. So this is the complete code for the remote racer workshop. 2 things to look out for. Firstly, make sure that your ports are corresponding to how it is connected on the robot, and also make sure you have the correct settings for all the icons. So once you are ready to upload your code to the robot, simply plug your robot to the laptop, and in the bottom right corner where there are 3 icons, click the top icon that is represented by an arrow pointing down. So this concludes the workshop tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and keep in touch for other workshops that we'll be uploading.